coronavirus, which is COVID-19. So most people still don't also know where the name came from, COVID-19. So the CO simply means corona, the VI is virus, and the 19, hence the word COVID-19. So do you understand? Okay, so it is caused by a new strain of coronavirus. This virus was obviously discovered. It was first discovered in Wuhan in China in December 2019. The major aspect that is affected in human is the respiratory tract. Now it is now a pandemic, and it affects almost all the nations globally. Our present statistic as at Wednesday, 20th May 2020, in Nigeria, they've tested 36,299 people, confirmed cases 6,401, active cases it is 4,475, discharge cases is 1,734, and death cases is about 192. Only in Lagos alone, the confirmed cases, what we have 2,755 as at 9:16 a.m. So it's possible for this statistic to increase after now, probably before 12 midnight. I'm sure we should be used to this trend by now. Okay, so the major means of transmission still remains the same, but there's a slight change. So before now, we were saying it is aerosol, that you can get it when somebody sneezes, coughs, and probably the other person inhales it, or it gets to the other person's nostril, then the person will be affected. We've realized that it can also be, people tend to neglect the fact that this aerosol that is released, the droplet that is released when you sneeze or cough, stays on surfaces. It could remain on your desk. It could be on your skin. It could be on your shirt, on your hair, and different non-inanimate or can remain on inanimate objects. So if you come in contact with such objects, there's every tendency that you may likely touch your face. If you touch your face, you touch your nose, you touch your eye, this microorganism, this virus, gets into your system and it becomes a problem. So there are some people are prevented with the symptoms, while others are not presented with the symptoms. Regardless, we need to practice healthy living in order to remain safe. So the exact dynamic is yet to be determined generally. So close contact with animals, live animals, market workers, caring for health workers. So we are all at risk. Whether you are in the hospital, you are at risk. You are at the marketplace, you are at risk. You are in church, you are at risk. You are at home, you are at work, you are at risk. You are not at work, you are at risk. So those people that are safe right now are those that are at home. So even if you're at home, and your family members or friends are out there, as long as they are going to interact with other people and they come back to you, you are also not safe. And there's another thing that we need to be careful about while dealing with COVID-19. There are other diseases that also mimic the signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Hence, sometimes it is wrongly diagnosed. So if you look at my screen right now, you discover that things like common cold, flu, allergies, they have the common symptoms with COVID-19 symptoms. So I'm going to share this slide because of time. I'll just skip some aspect and then move to the main stuff that I have, the topics that I have on the outline. So for you to diagnose COVID-19, the common symptoms we still have up to now is fever, cough, difficulty in breathing, contact with confirmed case, or you live in area. Before now, we were saying areas like America, Korea, China, and all that. But right now, we realize that it is no longer about we don't need to look so far because it is now epidemic here in Nigeria. We're having community spread. So that is to say, I'll start, instead of me to start asking if you've been to Lagos, if you've been to China or to America or to Italy, I'll start asking you things about your local government. So are you coming from Etiosa local government? Are you coming from Yaba? Are you coming from, so there's now a community spread in Nigeria. So for confirmed cases, what we advise you do, if you suspect it, if you are suspected to have COVID-19, if you have some of the symptoms presenting of the listed on the screen, if you can see my screen, then you're supposed to at least call NCDC. And also, there is a platform where we're encouraging telemedicine right now in Nigeria because we want to reduce the number of people coming to the to the hospital for care. We don't want to expose so many people to the infection. So instead of coming to the hospital, if you are not sure of the symptom, you can use any of the telemedicine platform to reach your healthcare, to reach your preferred healthcare providers. So in order for us to prevent the spread of COVID-19, either from contacting it or transferring it to others, you are advised to practice coughing etiquette. That is to say, you cover your cough. If you want to cough, you can cough in your elbow or use handkerchief. After using the handkerchief, properly dispose the handkerchief in the covered bin and then practice hand hygiene. Or another way to prevent it is by maintaining social distance of at least 2 meters apart. Avoid, make use of PPEs. And all that. Then for hand hygiene, for hand hygiene, I'm going to share a slide later. I'm going to share just one picture later on hand hygiene. People still don't know how to carry out the hand hygiene. Practicing hand hygiene doesn't mean you should run your hand under flowing tap or use hand sanitizer. They rub. They don't follow the steps. So there are necessary steps you are supposed to follow while carrying out hand hygiene to ensure that you've totally eliminate all the microorganisms on your palm. So in order to do that, I'm going to share a slide or a material from NCDC that will best explain how to properly wash your hand. Then also the use of face mask. Everybody wears face masks. These days, sometimes I try not to have panic attack when I see the wrong practice. People wear it. You see, if you look at my screen very well, you see this is an example of a properly worn face mask. You see the green part is green. The green part is out, while the white part is outside. While the white part is the exterior part, the part we are seeing right now. So some people use this face mask and they bring out, they turn it, they fix it the other way, inside out. Like you see the white part outside and the other part inside. No, it is wrong. You don't use your face mask that way. Face mask is designed to be used like this if you are using a surgical face mask. That's one. Number two, if you want to remove your face mask from your nose and your mouth, it's called a face mask, not a nose mask. Some people use it and it's covering just their mouth. The nose is exposed. Some people use it and it's under their chin. So do not cover your mouth only. Cover your nose and your mouth while using a face mask. If you want to remove it, there's a string that attaches the face mask to your ear. So if you want to remove it, hold the string and take it off. And each time you remove your face mask, ideally, we are supposed to dispose it. You're either disposing it or you wash, disinfect. If you are using a reusable face mask, you disinfect and iron. The reason I'm saying disinfecting and iron, you can disinfect alone and use, but I advise you iron it because COVID-19 cannot survive under a high temperature or any temperature that is higher than 70 degrees. COVID-19 cannot survive under such temperature. So you're advised to iron it before use. And also ideally, it's good we practice daily washing of the reusable face mask. Then that's for that. Then if by chance, if you notice that you're not feeling fine and there's need for you to, that's for the use of face mask. Then if you notice that even while you are carrying out, while you're using your face mask properly, you are self-isolating, you are maintaining social distance, you notice that you have, I'm going to reiterate what I've said before, you notice that you have temperature increase, you have shortness of breath, you are having difficulty breathing, please try and reach your, or better still, you call it, put a call through to NCDC. It is a toll-free number. Okay, so travel to work. Travel to work. So for companies, there are different companies. Some companies have the provided vehicle, the provided bus, like a shuttle for their staff. Some other companies do not. So staff are left with no less option but to use public transport. So restrict sitting on company operated shuttles to half capacity. We are saying reduce the number, long and short is reduce the number of staff in the staff bus or your staff shuttle to the minimum, as long as you can maintain at least 1 meter in the shuttle. To ensure, and then also ensure that each person entering the staff vehicle temperature is checked. Then also ensure that your vehicle is disinfected. Then encourage the use walking to work for those who do not have private cars. If your work is not so far from your residence, if the distance is short, I advise you walk rather than using public transport. Then if you must use public transport, I think they've activated Uber for now. Uber is now functional. If possible, use Uber. Then provide, then institute a flexible commuting policy for all employees to avoid rush hours. Adopt virtual waiting points. Then maintain a physical distances in entry queue, even to companies. Then separate. Then there's one thing I tell people a lot. So try and fix different resumption time for different staff. So some people can resume, let's say, 30 minutes apart, because you're trying to reduce congestion. We're trying to reduce congestion and to encourage social distances. For those who have not resumed yet, for those companies that are still not functional, not operational, it is advised you put your processes, your new work processes in place, your policies, what you intend to implement when your staff are back from their long break as a result of the pandemic. You put it in writing, send it to them, let them go through it, get used to the new lifestyle, because we need to adapt to this. We need to adapt to this new way of living, whether we like it or not. There's COVID-19. So pending when we have the virus that can, the vaccine that can take care of the virus, we need to modify our lifestyle. So modification of the lifestyle is the key way to survive this season of the pandemic. Those who do not apply to your lay down policies should not be allowed to resume. And for every staff who must get into the company, who must enter the company, their temperature must be checked. Their temperature must be checked, and it must be within the normal range. If the temperature is slightly higher than the norm, then please call your healthcare provider, reach out to your healthcare provider. Institute a flexible community policy for all staff to avoid rush hours and staggered entry windows. So I'll move straight to at work. So I may likely not follow the point that I have on my slide, but I'll just make sure I highlight, I'll mention the most important aspect of it. Please ensure workspace distancing of at least 6 feet at work. Then ensure that if it's possible for you to schedule your staff to ensure that the essential workers are on duty at part-time, it will be better. Then you should have clear posters on safety guidelines and sickness protocols. So those who are sick, whether you're having common cold, you're having fever, you're having body weakness, please give them a sick leave to go home. They should go self-isolate. Then encourage high frequency cleaning of surfaces. The easiest disinfectant we can use this period, especially in Nigeria, the one that is easily accessible right now is the jig, which is the bleach. It contains the most commonest one I see is the one that contains 3.5% chlorine, hypochlorite. So what you can do, that can be used easily at home. You can easily dilute it. I will also send the WHO recommended method for diluting 8 to 0.9% hypochlorite, because the microorganism can be destroyed. The COVID-19 virus can be destroyed by 0.9% hypochlorite. That's high high level disinfectant. Then the use of mask is required at workplace. So for the fact that you are at work and your colleague is not sick, is not enough reason for you to say that the person does not have COVID-19. So please encourage all staff members to wear masks. Then those at the reception area, those at the cash area, if possible, provide a face shield for them to use. Then there should be clear posters on the use of hand hygiene, clear posters on the use of surface disinfection and all that. Then still on, you can have a posters like this, something to remind people, because it is not something we are used to, especially in this part of the country. So there should be something to remind people, something to let them know that, oh, this is the ideal thing, and you have to comply with it. Then, like I said, you adopt, instead of having, even if you are in the hospital environment, you're in the hospital, we encourage video conferencing, whether you're having your normal departmental meeting, whether you're having your heads of department meeting, regardless of the type of meeting you're having, we encourage video conferencing, because we want to reduce, apart from the fact that we try to avoid staying in a closed environment, because you notice that we don't have the HEPA system in most of our environment. So we want a situation where, and if you're having this meeting, it's advisable you ensure that there is cross ventilation. So if your AC is on, your fan is on, make sure you also open your windows, because this virus can also be carried by fan. It can be carried by fan. It can be carried by the air. The air can also help transport it. Okay, so we've said all. Tables, chairs, and all with the surface disinfectant at specific time, and there should be someone monitoring such to ensure that it is done, someone to ensure compliance or implementation. Then common workspace, like I have said, I'm going to add one to it. There should be separate lunch seating. So if your lunch area for staff is if it's not so spacious, then we can have different time for setting number of people to have their lunch. Still trying to reduce the number of people. We're trying to reduce the number of people in the eating area, and trying to ensure that we have personnel are properly spaced while eating. So increase frequency for cleaning with visibly monitored, which I have said. Increase cleaning of high touch surfaces and spaces. Okay, this is an example of a workspace, of the space office area. Okay. Okay, so we've looked at this. I'm trying not to waste so much time. Okay, it's 1:37. I'm trying not to spend so much time. One other thing you need to do at your workplace is to restrict visitors to workplace. So there's really no need for your visitors to be at your workplace. Why then reduce it? Only allow important visitors at your workplace. Like right now in the hospital where I work, we do not encourage them visitors, except you are not the spouse. If you're not the spouse, then you're not there is really no. In all offices, hand sanitizers at the entrance to the hospital, and continuous checking of temperature. Like I said before, anyone with even a mild cough as low as this low-grade temperature of 37.3 or more needs to stay at home. Then there's one other thing I want to draw our attention So you look at this, if you look at this slide very well, it's not so clear. If you go out, especially in Lagos, you see some people wearing gloves in the public. I try as much as possible to educate those that I can educate. But since I'm talking to, and since we're having this meeting, so it's an opportunity for you to also help tell those, inform those. When you see people wearing gloves, it's a wrong practice. The glove doesn't prevent the spread. Wearing the rubber gloves while out in the public is not effective in preventing coronavirus. You can still pick up COVID-19 on rubbers. You can pick it on different surfaces. So the best thing to do is to ensure that you sanitize your hand continuously. The best thing to do is to sanitize your hand continuously and not to use hand gloves. It's wrong practice. So this is how to manage COVID-19 when organizing meeting and event. Like I said before, avoid face-to-face meeting. Teleconferencing is recommended. If it must be face-to-face, then you have to maintain a physical distance of at least 1.5 feet or 1.5 meters. Not more than 20 people according to the organizations, regardless of the type of organization, whether healthcare or no healthcare, should have at least an occupational health officer. So such individuals should be isolated, isolate the individual to a room, reduce contact with such individual. You contact your doctor through telemedicine or you contact NCDC. Thank you. For more information, please, you can visit the website listed on the screen. Thanks.